Agora o chefe está preparando um risoto.
Which is that when we grow, there's an agricultural calendar. Okay, so there are some plants that we know when to plant. There's a certain temperature. There's some sprouts because that's how it works. So when in the winter the seed is dead, okay, it's under the earth. As the heat comes, when it reaches a certain level, a certain temperature, it can open up. So while the seed of the snap peas opens up at a temperature of 9 degrees Celsius, the seed of the eggplant only opens up above 22. That's why really we only have eggplants in the summer. It's really like a mechanical process. It's like how much sun this little seed gets. We have to remember that we are nothing but a seed. So to really put our life, attune our life to this seed, because the same energies that will act on that seed will act on us. Mitakuyeo Yasin is a mantra from Native American Indian that means for all our relations. What this mantra teaches is that we're all connected. We are all connected, that's why you're all sitting at the same table tonight, having to interact with a stranger. We're connected to animals, we're connected to plants, we're connected to insects, and we're connected to objects. Why are we all connected? Because we all suffer from the same influences, or benefit from the same influences. The energies that are acting on a seed, on a plant, or an animal are the same ones that are acting on us. So when we gather and we together decided to focus our energies on it, our intentions on an energy, that's how we make it strong. Rice, for example, is a culture that can live with grain and legumes. So if in the same field your men discovered that you plant at the same time rice, legumes, and grain, because each one of them, for the amount of nitrogen that you release it into the earth through the dead roots, is gonna feed the next one coming. So what you do is you plant the first one, as the first one is ready, its roots are gonna rot into the ground. Those roots are gonna give the nitrogen that is necessary to the earth to actually grow the following one. When then man tries to make intensive cultures, what does he have to do? Oh, I put only this one here because I want to get the most out of it. And it doesn't work as well as if you do it naturally with another one. But what happens? That one company specializes in selling rice and the other one specializes in selling legumes. And so they can't really get together and figure out that we really have to plant the two of them together. But if we were following all of those knowledge, which is written actually, the calendaria agricola comes from the Romans 2,000 years ago, we wouldn't need all of these pesticides. Because what you do is like you plant mint, you plant basil, you plant sage next to your grain, and those act like pesticides. Animals know this. The animal totem of the spring is the golden eagle, because that's when we fly high. That's also Leo's power animal. The golden eagle that flies high, the golden eagle that can look into the sun, which is the element of the spring. The eagle, when they make their nest, they will put inside the nest herbs to keep away the insects, so that they don't bite their babies. This is how we find, we think that we have discovered something because we burn some Palo Santo in our houses. Eagles are already putting herbs in their nest to protect their babies. So I invite everyone to just think a little bit, what are we doing to go against nature? From something simple, we want to have too much AC in the summer. Take a breath before you turn on the AC. Try to accept that it's hot. And when you turn on your AC, put it like 5 degrees lower than you would have wanted, higher than you probably wanted it to be. The repercussion of simply everyone lowering their AC of 5 degrees will be humongous on the planet. And if we don't really start, then we're going to have to figure something else out because there's not going to be any more AC.
O ar-condicionado vai ser uma grande
How are we doing with this risotto?
A course based on roots. So in the winter, all the life is under the ground. So that's why the component of the dish is roots. All the roots grow under the ground. So and then winter also is, in my mind, is something that is dry, something that is decomposed. Okay. So that's why on the dish we have some radish powder and dry wild arugula. Okay, so you can feel the strong flavor of the arugula, the spiciness of the arugula. But what is nice that you can feel the flavor also if the ingredient is dry and not fresh. So we're gonna have roast parsnips, roast carrots, and with salsify, that is another root. I made this salsify puree. And on top, we're gonna finish with pickled mustard seeds, because life is everything goes. The life is a seeds, not so. Winter is when you.
Semente di mostarda.
In the winter, the life is underneath. Winter is dead. In our wheel, winter is dead. Spring is the time of birth, are the first few years of life. Summer is our adult life, and autumn is our aging. But even in the time of death, life is present. So when everything looks dead, life is happening underneath, the same way that our soul is simply not present on earth as we are dead, but its travel continues in the infinite age. Winter is the unseen part. It's actually one of the longest part of our age. You know, there is the birth, our life, our aging, and the whole course of our life. So the roots are underneath. When a seed falls from the tree in autumn, there's life in it. But that is just the hope of life. We don't know if it's actually going to make it through the winter. So it plants its roots, and that Ricardo is celebrating with carrots, which are roots, potatoes are roots, turnips are roots, Sancho are roots, sassafras is a root. So all of these roots that still continue to feed us. The same way that our thoughts and our ideas in the winter, sometimes we can't express them. You know, we sit at home thinking about the girlfriend and the girl that we want to go out in spring. But in winter, you can't really go out. It's too cold, you know. It's not really going to be fun to go out. So you just sit at home and wait, you know. And in this way, we present our roasted vegetables with mustard seeds and our sassafras. There's a thing that happens in here. There's a thing that happens in New York City. You know, there are a lot of things happen, and we don't really understand how. Because there are people like Renee without everyone knowing and everyone noticing, because sometimes they cannot even expose themselves too much for obvious reasons. They are keeping this city running. You know, I can say that owning a restaurant, if it wasn't for immigrants, such as myself and some others at the table, you wouldn't be able to eat the food that you have today. Just a little longer. We're getting very close to the last chapter. So, from that seed, many things are born. One of them, for example, is an artichoke. There's a very important fact about spring and about this plant that has just put its roots into the ground and it's trying to grow. It's very fragile. Our intentions, when they're only within us, they're very fragile. It's something that we really have to protect. When you want a seed to open up, you put it in cotton next to your window. You cuddle him every day, it opens up. When it opens up, you have to be very careful. If the wind is too strong, if it gets cold all of a sudden. Last night we had to take our flowers inside, but it was very good weather on Sunday, but then it got cold. if we don't take care of our intentions in the moment in which they're babies, it's going to be tough. So what does nature do? Creates protection. Even though this was a seed, and all that we need is the heart of the artichoke. Look what the artichoke has to create around itself to be one of the first genus vegetables that comes out in the spring, because it comes out when it's much colder. So what we have to do with this vegetable, which is kind of the same thing that we have to do about ourselves, it's really to take out that protection that we have built for ourselves, which is important. If we didn't create the protection for ourselves, we would have not been able to survive the winter. But at the same time, if we keep all of those protections up, there's nothing to enjoy really. You know, the outside of us, it's like it's very tough. You know, the artichoke even puts up spines to protect itself, just so that it can preserve that beauty that is within. Now, I do have to say that artichokes are very different in every place that you go, you know, like many vegetables. You have on the back of a very useful chart. Okay, this is made for New York. It has all the months, the design. The only element that you're not going to find is meat. Okay, so there's not a chart for meat because we don't really recommend eating meat as a dietary choice. But fish, eggs, fruits, vegetables, there's a little chart that explains what it is. What does it do? First of all, if you buy the vegetables that are in season at the market, they're cheaper because they have to move less. That's why cherries are so expensive in December, because we don't need cherries in December. Our body doesn't need cherries. Our body in December needs roots, needs a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fat around the belly to stay warm. When it comes spring, everything is green. So the artichoke, Ricardo went to the heart of it. You know, he boiled it, marinated it for weeks, because the work that we do before, whatever it is that we want to do in life, it's what actually really makes the difference in the result. Why what Ricardo makes is good and what we make at home is not as good. Because Ricardo 3 days ago was already making preparation for this food, because the stock needs to rest for one night, because we need to prepare for whatever it is that we want to do in our life. The element of the spring is fire. So the dish that Ricardo made tonight,
The fire was before
the fire was burned in the oven, sorry. The artichoke opens up so that inside its heart we can find tenderness, the tenderness that we can eat. So my invitation is in life to expose ourselves. And I speak about this now that we all had a couple of glasses of wine, because we are a little bit more open to listen and to receive. One way that I personally practice in my life to attune myself to nature are altered state of consciousness. Because in an altered state of consciousness, you lose control. There's many ways to attune yourself an altered state of consciousness. An altered state of consciousness that has been very important in mankind evolution. We love getting high from when we're kids, you know, when we spin, and then we stop and we get a little dizzy. Who didn't do it? What was so enjoyable? Getting a little dizzy. As you grow up, you figure out there are other ways to make your head spin, and you try it. Some of them are very beneficial, some of them are not. But my invitation is really to let the protections down in our life, you know, to expose ourselves, especially once you feel safe, to explore your vulnerability, because it's the heart of the artichoke that is the part that is the best part of it. You know, nobody wants to eat what we put outside in order to live in society. Nobody cares about the leaves of the artichokes. Have you tried them? No, when you get to this part, it's good. But at this point, you can only eat the bottom of the artichoke. You can't eat the leaf. You know, if the leaf were the clothes, and these artichokes are not as good as they should be to eat them raw. So my invitation is like, look for the spines in your own personality. Take them off. Let others access to your heart the same way that Ricardo helped us to access to the heart of an artichoke tonight. Artichoke is stuffed. It's stuffed with life. It's stuffed with healthy things. There are spring peas, there is quinoa. What else do we have?
Artichokes, Swiss chard. Only one thing I wanna come back about the art of the artichokes. I also left some. It's gonna be a little bit chewy. Okay, so don't expect to really have clean artichokes super soft, because the life is not always easy, no? Sometimes you have something that is chewy in life, and I think that when you chew this artichoke tonight, don't say, oh fuck, it's chewy. No, it's chewy because there is a reason. Continues to eat, and then after a couple of bites, it's gonna be easy to eat. So okay, so don't take these couple of leaves hard and chewy. Oh, the chef forgot. No, I didn't purpose. So and that's it. There is on top a little bit of mint. A little bit of the mint is powdered, but there is some tarragon and oil made with parsley and lemon zest. And the quinoa, it's mixed also with some tofu. So there is tofu, peas, artichoke, Swiss chard, and that's it. Right, so I'm gonna finish here.
Wow, great. To know that there are cycles, at least you know more or less what's going to happen. But what do you do with these cycles? What makes, what helps us to get into this rhythm and to attune ourselves to this cycle? Eating, definitely. Eating seasonally. Just go with it. Absolutely. But actually, yes and no. Because just going with it, we don't really realize what is happening. Sometimes in life we just go with it, and it's cool to be able to just go with it and flow. But if we know where we are flowing and what is happening around us, that can help us. So the importance of identifying where we are, acknowledging, is very fundamental in order to move in this wheel. What did men do in order to acknowledge these passages? Rituals. A ritual is what we do today to acknowledge our past and to prepare for our future. Every time that we take a ritual in our life, we are acknowledging where we are, where we have been, and where we want to go. And the ritual doesn't have to be necessarily a shamanic journey in Peru for a week. Lighting a candle, turning up your coffee pot in the morning, closing your book at night, even turning on the TV can be a ritual. Because the ritual is in the intention. That's the moment in which we set our intention. So, I personally experience on a daily basis what it means to have my life in the wheel. Things happen. I opened this restaurant a year and a half ago, and I made the terrible mistake of opening in autumn. There was nothing worse than that I could have done. I found myself putting everything I had in autumn into the restaurant, and then in the winter it was so cold, and in the time in which I was supposed to stay home and just think, I had to be here. It was awful. So throughout 2018 I have completely changed this rhythm. I have taken it slow. I have said, you know what, if it's winter, I just go with the flow of winter. So I'm not really going to go out and try to make things happen in winter, because they're not going to happen. It's like swimming against current. At a certain point you just drown. Why, if you wait, and actually just patiently wait for nature to happen, to have its course, things come out a little easier. And so that's how, when it came autumn, also thanks to the meeting with Pravda, which is the company that is helping us to grow the restaurant and to put together this event, we start brainstorming. So in autumn, what does the farmer do? He looks at his crop, he looks at what he had the year before, and he figures out, was it good or not? Do I have to plant more? Do I have to give them more water? Do I need more sun? Do I need more plants? How do I do? And I realized that personally I was doing very bad. So I cut off everything. For winter I said, no more. I'm staying in here, I'm waiting for things to happen. And things start happening. So I met Ricardo. Thanks to the guys from craft and
Tudo foi
introduced us.
acontecendo e depois
I
nós
met Ricardo
encontramos
and
Ricardo.
we had our first meeting at a place called The Bean. Without
E
really
o
thinking
primeiro
about it.
meeting foi
But
um
the
lugar
Bean
que se chama The
is where
Bean.
everything starts. And that was
Bean
right in the middle of
starts.
winter. And in the time of germination, we actually were planting our roots
No
in
tempo de
deciding what we
germinação, nós
wanted to
estamos
do.
plantando nossos
We actually
raízes para
agreed, he
crescer.
gave his resignation from the previous place right at the beginning of spring, equinox, the ritual.
No
The ritual that makes us stop,
início de
move from the
primavera,
place
nós
of the
estamos
mind,
já
the
fazendo
winter,
todas as nossas
to the time of the soul, the action, spring.
ideias.
So rituals are very important in our
So
life.
rituais é
One
muito
ritual that we
importante na nossa
do,
vida.
ritual also help us to understand the
Rituais
invisible
está
world.
ajudando
So sometimes we
nós.
do rituals and we don't know. We don't know if like lighting a candle with an intention is going to help us for something or not. We can
Às
just
vezes
believe.
nós não sabemos se nós vamos
So,
fazer
but
uma
through practicing
vela, ele
rituals,
vai na
we
verdade
make things
vai
happen.
ajudar-nos.
So one of the rituals that we're going to practice tonight is a very simple ritual of purification.
Ritual
The
que
three
nós vamos
spiritual
praticando
paths of
hoje
spring
é ritual de
are
purificação.
purity. The purity that we have to reach to have clarity.
Purificação que nós devemos
Clarity of vision, clarity of intention. That clarity is
claridade.
going to bring us the illumination.
Claridade da visão,
So
claridade
for us also as a new business, we
para nós que
purify
tem uma boa,
what
uma
has been in this
nova,
space. This space has had a restaurant for like
nova
45 years.
restaurante.
Many things happen. Gypsy Kings were in this room.
Esse
Nick
restaurante, esse lugar do restaurante existe 45 anos.
Many
Muitas
others.
coisas foram acontecendo neste lugar.
Sage, white sage is used in
Sálvia
most
branca
culture
está usado
to
para
purify.
purificação.
The fumes that come from these plants have a
A fumaça que
purifying
vem dessa
power.
planta está
Chris
purificando.
is gonna come around.
Chris vai
You know what, Chris? Você pode cantar, eu vou passar. Chris is gonna sing.
Vai.
Chris vai cantar.
Singing is a very important factor of ancient society. It's the way that they were expressing
O
themselves, they
canto
were
está
praying.
muito importante.
So we're going to accompany the
Nós vamos
saging, this
cantar
magic that we're going to
esta
do with some
defumação.
songs that invoke cleansing, purity.
Com canção que invoca
Purification.
claridade, purificação. Qual é? Mas você lembra?
Vai, Cris.
Defuma com as ervas da Jurema, defuma com a ruda e guiné, defuma com as ervas da Jurema, defuma com a ruda e guiné, beijo e alegria ao fazer mar. Ora vamos defumar, filhos de fé. Beijo e alegria ao fazer mar.
If you close your
Ora
eyes,
vamos defumar,
if you
filhos
close
de
your eyes
fé.
when the sage comes in and take a
Defuma,
breath,
defuma com as ervas da Jurema. Defuma com a ruda e guiné. Defuma com as ervas da Jurema. Defuma com a ruda e guiné. Beijo e alegria ao fazer mar. Ora vamos defumar, filhos de fé. Beijo e alegria ao fazer mar. Ora vamos defumar, filhos de fé. Defumar, defuma com as ervas da Jurema. Defuma com a ruda e guiné. Defuma com as ervas da Jurema. Defuma com a ruda e guiné. Beijo e alegria ao fazer mar. Ora vamos defumar, filhos de fé. Beijo e alegria ao fazer mar. Ora vamos defumar, filhos de fé.
Arro. outro jeito de comer, de viver uma noite, né? Uma vivência gastronômica, espiritual. Oh.
I made a stock. I burned all the onion skin. Okay, I didn't throw away. I burned all the onion skin and I made a stock with a burned spring onion skin. And then I braised the spring onion. I made a puree. And then we made a juice with beets. And then there is some beets powder and some bay leaves powder. Onion and bay leaves is something I remember my childhood. Because I'm from Venice, there was a really typical preparation called saor, which was this onion braised with bay leaves and a little bit of vinegar. So that's why there is a little bit of lemon zest here to give a little bit of acidity. And the bay leaves, the onion, really remember me the sour, this preparation that came from my childhood. It's a little bit al dente. I know maybe sometimes we usually eat rice, especially when we go to the Japanese restaurant, the rice it's more cooked, more soft. In Italy, the rice
mais al dente.
Isso é o diferencial daqui.
Crunchy and you feel the texture of the grain.
Você vai sentir o texto mais al dente.
Esse é o diferencial que o Manuel pode fazer aqui. Isso é diferente. Pode ser demais isso tudo.
Mas você acha que cada dia fazendo alguma coisa assim? Não, cada estação.
Estação, cada semana.
É, isso. Também acho assim. Porque a pessoa faz alguma coisa assim, interativa, comer novas pessoas, se encontrar, entendeu? Uma festa, né?
Podia criar, por exemplo, um cardápio uma vez por semana. Fazer um cardápio especial para os buscadores. Assim. Que acho que um dia da semana todo mundo sabe que nesse dia, tipo uma sexta ou uma quinta-feira, vai acontecer isso. Vamos chamar de uma vivência gastronômica. Uma coisa assim.
Instead to use regular butter or cheese, I use coconut butter, okay? So this way it's completely vegan.
Esqueci uma coisa e eu usei. Hello, I'm Medicina and I'm here in Osteria 57 and we're having a very special inspirational dinner with a lot of people here, which I'll show you in a little bit. It's very interesting, a lot of topics about how to eat according to the seasons, and whichever is very good in the seasons and the most appropriate food that benefits our soul, mind, body, and everything that is really good for us. So first I'm going to show you a little bit of what's going on here. We're almost in the end. There's a lot of people still really enjoying, and I'll ask our first person here, Anna, how was this dinner for you? How did you feel?
I really liked the first few meals. It was more like roots, and I love it. So it was delicious. Really good.
Do you usually eat like this according to the season, would you say?
I usually eat vegan, not according to the season. But it was really good to experience it.
Is there anything that you learned today that you would really catch you or you would want to remember?
Because I love radishes, I'm probably gonna try to eat more radishes and cook them the way they cook them.
Okay, the next person we will ask our friend here, paesano italiano.
Allora, io sono Leo Artese aqui para falar do xamanismo da roda medicinal. Não, ciao, sono Filippo, lui è Leo. Io sono
Speak in English.
In English, sorry. I'm not Leo, sorry, I wish. He's Leo. I'm Filippo, and I'm enjoying this wonderful evening, this great experience of having more consciousness in what we put in our body, how we feed ourselves, and being in harmony also with the seasons of life.
What is the most memorable thing that you could remember from today's dinner and share it with people?
Well, I don't know if I can share it with people because it's something unique, but the most memorable thing is to be sitting next to Leo Artese.
Você tem 5%.